Chapter 3. When most people hear the word scoliosis, they picture an X-ray with a single, crooked line. From that single image, it seems like the whole problem must sit inside the bones of the spine. But scientists now know the story is much bigger and far more interesting than one bent bone. Scoliosis acts more like a team of small mix-ups that add up over time. These mix-ups involve the brain, the balance system, the nerves, the muscles, and even how fast a child grows. In this chapter, we will zoom out and look at scoliosis as a three-dimensional, whole-body condition, so you can see why treating the curve alone is not enough. The three dimensions of a curve. An ordinary spine does not grow in a straight stick. From the side, it has gentle waves called the cervical, thoracic, and lumbar curves. These waves help the body absorb shock, like springs on a mountain bike. In scoliosis, the spine tips left or right when seen from the back, but it also twists like a ribbon. That twist can pull ribs forward on one side and push muscles back on the other. Doctors call this a three-dimensional deformity because it changes height, width, and depth all at once. Why does the twist matter? Imagine turning a ladder on its side while holding a paint can. If one rung swings forward and another swings back, the whole ladder feels shaky. In the same way, a twisted spine can make it harder for muscles to stay balanced, and that can change how the brain senses upright posture. This is the first clue that scoliosis is not only about bones, it also involves how the body feels and responds to gravity. Posture starts in the brain. Take a moment to stand on one leg. You may notice tiny foot muscles grabbing the floor, your eyes focusing on a point, and your arms spreading out for balance. All that happens in a split second because the brain's posture centers never sleep. Three major sensors feed data to these centers. Vision. Your eyes tell the brain if the world looks level. Inner ear balance, the vestibular system. Tiny fluid-filled canals inside each ear act like a built-in spirit level. Proprioception. Special nerve endings in muscles and joints report stretch, pressure, and speed, letting the brain know where each body part sits in space. The posture centers compare signals from all three sensors many times per second. If any sensor gives weak or fuzzy data, the brain has to guess. Repeated guessing can lead to subtle tilts. Over thousands of standing hours, small tilts can shape bone growth, especially during growth spurts. That is why some scientists call scoliosis a neuromuscular or neurohormonal condition. The brain's control and the body's growth programs get their wires crossed. Muscles, the body's guy wires. Picture a tall radio tower held upright by cables called guy wires. If one side's cables loosen, the tower leans despite having a solid frame. Muscles do the same job for the spine. Core muscles on the front, back, and sides tug on each vertebra. If one group fires faster or stronger than its partner, the spine drifts. Research shows that children with scoliosis often have one side of the spine doing extra work, while the other side slacks off. Over time, strong muscles shorten and weak ones stretch, locking the twist in place. The brain then remembers the twisted stance as normal. That memory turns into a reflex. The body returns to a curved shape even after a person is straightened during therapy or bracing. Unless the brain rewrites that reflex, muscle drills alone cannot hold a new, straighter shape. Sensory feedback loops. A feedback loop is like a thermostat. When the room cools, the thermostat signals the heater to turn on, then shuts it off when the room warms. The spine has similar loops. Foot pressure sensors tell the brain if weight tips to the right. Eyes check the horizon. Ear canals confirm head tilt. The brain adjusts muscle tone to stay level. In scoliosis, parts of this loop misfire. For example, some studies have found that kids with curves sway more when their eyes close than kids without curves. Others show slower reaction times in back muscles on the weaker side. Think of it as a conversation in which one person whispers and the other shouts. The mixed volumes create confusion, and the body solves it by leaning toward whichever signal sounds louder. Genetics, the hidden blueprint. Genes act like tiny instruction books inside each cell. They guide bone growth, collagen strength, and how nerves release brain chemicals such as serotonin and dopamine. Over the past 20 years, researchers have discovered dozens of genes linked to adolescent idiopathic scoliosis, AIS. Some affect the shape of vertebrae, others influence balance centers or muscle tone. Keep in mind that carrying a gene variant does not doom anyone to a curve. It only raises or lowers risk. Environment, sleep, nutrition, activity, and even stress can switch genes on or off. This field of study, called epigenetics, explains why two siblings with the same DNA pattern might have very different spines. Understanding genes helps doctors predict which curves could race ahead during puberty and which might stay gentle. It also shows why scoliosis care should be personalized, not one size fits all. Environment, the world around the spine. Every day, kids bend over phones, carry backpacks, or sit through long classes. Poor posture does not cause scoliosis, but it can strain muscles that are already out of balance. Low vitamin D, common in cloudy regions or in kids who avoid outdoor play, weakens bone. Hormones such as estrogen, leptin, and growth hormone surge during puberty and can open a window when curves advance quickly. Even chronic stress raises cortisol, a hormone that weakens collagen and changes muscle firing patterns. Knowing these links helps families build a spine-friendly lifestyle. Simple ideas, like taking stretch breaks, practicing balance, or eating calcium-rich snacks, can lower risk or slow progression when paired with professional care. How doctors measure more than angles. The classic tool for scoliosis is the Cobb angle, measured on an X-ray. But some clinics now check. Surface topography. A laser scan maps rib bumps and waist dips in 3D. Balance testing platforms. These measure how much a child sways when eyes are open or closed. Muscle endurance exams. Timed plank or side plank holds reveal hidden weakness. Genetic and hormone panels. Simple cheek swabs or blood tests uncover risk factors. By combining these tools, doctors see the spine's big picture. A small curve with poor balance scores may deserve the same attention as a larger curve with strong muscle control. Moving beyond the curve, brain-based training. Because posture starts in the brain, many modern programs focus on reflexive response rehabilitation. The goal is to teach the nervous system new habits, not just force the bones into place. Techniques may include sensory reweighting. Balance boards, vibration plates, or soft foam challenge the brain to trust quiet sensors and calm down noisy ones. Neuromuscular clothing. Devices like the ScoliSMART activity suit turn ordinary walking into a lesson. Elastic bands add gentle counterpulls, reminding muscles to fire evenly with each step. Visual motor games. Catching bright balls, tracing moving lights, or playing virtual reality balance games spark fast posture corrections. Early studies show these tools can reduce sway, improve core strength, and sometimes shrink a curve's angle. They also build confidence because kids stay active, a key part of social health. Real-life story. Hannah's new balance. Hannah, age 13, loved volleyball. A school nurse first spotted her curve during a routine check. At 12 degrees, the angle was small, but her parent chose a proactive approach at a ScoliSMART clinic. Over 6 months, she did daily balance board drills, wore a lightweight posture suit during walks, and spinal molding nightly. Follow-up scans showed her sway cut in half, her core strength doubled, and her curve stayed under 10 degrees through a big growth spurt. Best of all, Hannah played the entire volleyball season without pain, and without the heavy brace she had feared. Why one size will never fit all. Every scoliosis case has its own mix of genetics, growth pace, hormone shifts, and nerve signals. That is why two students with the same Cobb angle can end up with very different futures. One might outgrow the risk, while the other speeds past 40 degrees in a single year. Personalized plans, built from balance tests, genetic clues, and lifestyle habits, give each child the best chance for a safe, active life. Key takeaways. Scoliosis is three-dimensional. It tips and twists the spine, which changes how ribs, muscles, and nerves work together. Posture begins in the brain. Vision, inner ear balance, and body sense feed nonstop data to posture centers that control muscle tone. Weak feedback causes drift. If one sensor whispers or one muscle group slacks, the brain guesses, and curves can sneak in. Genes set the stage, but environment cues the action. Hormones, nutrition, activity, and stress turn risk up or down. Modern care measures more than angles. Balance tests, muscle exams, and genetic panels help tailor treatment. Training the nervous system rewrites reflexes. Sensory drills, smart clothing, and precise exercises teach the body to hold itself straighter naturally. Looking ahead. In the next chapter, we will explore why traditional, rigid bracing often falls short, and how proactive, whole-body programs can fill the gap. Remember, the goal is not only to chase a smaller number on an X-ray, but to build a stronger, smarter spine that can keep up with soccer games, band practice, and every laugh-filled adventure that growing up should offer. Understanding scoliosis as a full-body, brain-driven condition is the first step on that path.